Bada boom, bada bing. It is 6:36 a.m. Wednesday, April 12th, 2017. Here you go. That's funny. Let's do it again. Excuse me, a lot of sniffles today. Burning up here in the house. It's not that hot, it's just what's going on in my body. Anyway, it's kind of funny. Excuse me, my my body, DNA, and everything's taken down, and my head still, now it's grown sideways, which is funny. I was seeing it, and Deanna actually said, damn, you got the little lump goes up and down here, but now you're going out sideways. It's like, whatever. It's to help me see what I'm dealing with. That's out of body. While the body itself is dying. It's kind of like you're going in two different directions. Anyway, fear this. Fear that. Fear this. Fear, fear, fear. Wow. Shit's crazy. Also, we're going to talk about the new first beings that are coming out. Excuse me. Damn. Used the last video I did about the star energy and the Drak attack. Happened a long time ago. Anytime you see something in space and it's even 1 light year away, that's a long time. But it's been war in outer space for a long time, and the Drak have been active from time to time. Others know about it. Excuse me. Oh, damn. Anyway, excuse me. The first off, fear. Oh, there's 4 new first beings, 4 new gods, 4 new beings coming out of the first dimension. I've talked about before. We need to discuss that a little bit. That'll come up in a minute. But first, let's get in and out of this fear thing, like getting in and out of fear itself. Excuse me. Head's moving around. Anyway, so what is fear? Fear is the base emotion that comes out of your base chakra, base energy field. It's where the spine meets the hip bone, pelvic bone. Once it's activated, it can screw up the normal process of your whole body. It can keep your crown from functioning, keep you from thinking right. It can make you sick. It messes with your DNA. Excuse me. Wow. So, you can use stone energy. You can use something as simple as a nice, deep, kind of full breath. Don't try to hurt your lungs. Just full breath, and we let it out. Just take that energy and go and release it. Wow, this is going to be fun. Sniffing. Anyway, just let it go. Just let it go. There's a lot of things on the internet. There's a lot of things on TV to keep your fear going, or to keep your base energy field, or what most people call the base chakra, to keep it activated. When you watch the news and you see all these lights and everything going all over the place, that's literally stirring up your base chakra, okay, your base energy field in your body. Then all you need is a little extra stimulus, like to worry about something, and then poof, it fires it up, and it makes it hard for your body to function right physically. Makes it hard for you to think about things that you should be thinking about, more relative to something positive in your life. Generating fear as a tactic that was created, like everything else on the other side, by the original first being male and female. They put it to good use. But then it was taught here, and it was used by the physical bodies to keep other physical bodies, quote unquote, in line. So, excuse me a second. Damn. Anyway, fear is used to control you in many different ways. If you want to move a bunch of cattle, if you want to move a group of wild horses, what do the old cowboys do? They'd fire off a round of a couple guns, and they get a stampede going, or they actually start herding the horses together. You get them scared, you get them moving. There'll be one or two that are going to be in the front leading, and then you guide them, and everyone follows. So many people are believing all this crazy crap on the internet, and some people actually go searching for it. But some people believe all this crap. They think the earth is about to end, and they almost want to make a science of it. Excuse me. Where they actually understand that the earth is going to end, and I'll be the one that tells everyone about it and gets it right. I had a couple of people like that get a hold of me, and when is this going to happen? That's going to happen. I said, it's not. I said, if you want to know more about it, please listen to some of my videos. Look at one that has an applicable title. Then this one guy wanted to write like 4 or 5 emails and everything. I'm just like, hey, dude, I got no time for. I told you no, it's not going to happen. And then you want me to give you proof? Frack off, schmuck. Want a consult? Don't get one. Okay, boom. You don't get one. Next. What a waste of time. And then people try to attack you when you tell them that. It's funny as hell. It's like, dude, you're like a belch in the wind. You're nothing. Fear. There's a total lack of fear. I'm not afraid of nothing. Nothing. I'm not afraid of anything. I'm anxious to go home, but I'm not afraid of anything. Excuse me. I remember when I was younger and I was afraid of the dark. Why? Because I could feel stuff in there. I could feel myself being watched. And I could feel things wanting to come at me. So, in my opinion, I had the right to be afraid. Okay, I guess that's a true statement. We have the right to do anything other as long as we're not hurting other people, but what's the sense in it? When I could see what was there and understood it, I lost my fear. No fear whatsoever. Started going away. The only thing I feared at that point was not being able to do my job. It was that important, and now I don't have that concern, but it went from fear to concern quick. I had a fear of the original first being male and female until finally killing them. They get in you, in their energy. They go into your head. You couldn't hardly get them out. Understanding is what releases fear. But it starts by calming yourself down and relaxing. And some just relax, nice full breaths, calm down, pull in some good fresh oxygen, release the carbon dioxide, and take your think and see it. If you see it in your head, you can make it happen. Now, that sounds like a law of attraction or that a manifestation bullshit. It's not. But I'm talking about relaxing, take your fears, and make the intention to release your fears. Release those frequencies you don't want. As you breathe out, and then take your hands. Push them all out of you. Think of yourself as full of these vibrations, frequencies you don't need because they're fear, and go and release them all. You do that once, maybe 2-3 times, you're going to feel so much better. Excuse me. They go out in the field, they get dealt with, okay? So, and then, as soon as you relax, it's easier to look at it. As you relax, you literally put your mind in that state where you are what people call enlightened. You are aware of what's around you. Enlightenment is awareness. You are aware of yourself, your abilities, the fact that you're in the field with others, and you relax, and you go to just say, okay, something's bothering me, and you go look right at it. How do you do it? How do you aim? You don't aim. You're there. It's energy. Boom. Excuse me. You relax and want to see something. You have that intention while you're relaxed. Remember, the field goes through you. It goes through you. It's permeating through you and everything. You make the intention to see something, the field knows, put you, boom, right there. Don't even need a library card. That's how simple things are. I'm not making fun of anybody that doesn't know that, because I didn't. It's part of waking up. That's why we're talking about it. Everything I talk about, I learned the hard way. No one showed me, and I had to fight everything, including the original first being male and female, the whole damn time. I was starving back then, saving animals everywhere. I'd feed them and then just wait for something to eat. Like I said, my friend Nick fed me for, I don't know, a couple of years, whatever. Excuse me. Buying me lunches, and when I didn't have food to eat, and I would go down to Costco to get samples. But I was going to save those animals. Everybody said, Jay, you're nuts. And I said, yeah, whatever. It's me, man. Don't get in my face about saving animals, because you're not going to like what you find. Yeah, excuse me. So anyway, damn. We have a tendency when in the body to be ourselves, but remember, you're in a body with another spirit, one that used to belong to the planet that's been abused hard and given hell, and its normal way is to be part of a body, and it thinks that body is hers mostly, because it's female. It's planetary essence, which is female for the most part. It's got some male energy in it, but so anyway, fear is used to keep you from relaxing and becoming yourself. I got a sphero here upside down in the base. It's just, these things they're plastic, okay? And then, of course, this is an acrylic plastic, but it's still plastic. And I've got one upside down like that over here, and there's a little fey guy that was kind of playing with the corner of the sphere. It's like, okay. Anyway, when you look out of the corner of your eyes, you can see things peripherally. Is that right? Whatever. It's like when you see things move. That's energy being moved by you. There's pockets of strong energy moved by you so you can see it. Sometimes it's your spirit guides themselves moving. Excuse me. It's to help you know that there's something other than what you can touch with your hands that's real. And when you understand that, it gets rid of fear. When you have been awake long enough and you've been doing this long enough, which is not a bunch of years, might be a year and a half, might be 4 to 6 months. Whatever it is, it is. But when you get to the point where you can feel what's in the dark, but you feel what's everywhere. The darkness, why be afraid of the darkness? Fear, because why? You can't see it. It's a bug. I got a bunch of stuff harassing me, as is obvious this morning. Started late last night. Anyway, excuse me. That's the thing about fear. And people actually want to find more fear on the internet. I'm like, you kidding me, right? It's, what do they call that, an adrenaline junkie? They're looking for it, hoping for it. Hey there, buddy. Little moth flying around. Energy of moth is calm, relaxed. It's often associated with fey energy. Anyway, the more you understand about things, the more you know, the less reason there is to fear. I mean, fear, it takes your DNA and twists it like a slinky instead of like a softly twisted ladder. It makes like a slinky, like taking a rag and tying it up, twisting it up until it snaps inside where the actual fibers are broken. It messes with your immune system and everything else. But it also messes with your thought process, and it's easier for you to be herded, okay, like a herd of animals, herded into a corner. And once you've done that, then you're not much good to yourself or those you love. When you have a relationship and you're afraid of something happening, well, what do you want to do? Just stick in that fear? Don't get stuck. Don't let yourself get stuck there. Look at the situation. Say, okay, this is possible that we're going to split up. So, what do we do? Run around jumping up and down and go nuts? No. Uh, Imagine what'll happen if that does happen. See how that flows. Understand what you'll do if it happens, basically, and then just let it go. Excuse me. Have a relationship with someone saying, I'm going to leave if you do this, I'm going to leave if you do that. Just say, okay. Thanks for preparing me. Take care. So many people, they hear a helicopter and they go nuts. Excuse me. They hear a helicopter. They're after me. They're looking. Wow, folks, calm down, man. Let me tell you something. They use satellite. I was coming down my street a few years ago. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever years ago. And there were 2 police cars. County police. They were next to each other, taking up a lot of room. Excuse me, I had to go slow when I went by them. And then down at the end of the street in the cul-de-sac, they were watching this house. Now, how do I know that? Well, there's a lot of different ways to know that, but when I went by, I'm in a truck, I couldn't help but see they had a computer out, they had a satellite view, and they're watching the house. If they want to look at you, it's cheaper for them to use a satellite that's lifetime than it is spend money on a helicopter. Okay? Excuse me. Well, that does not mean that a helicopter would never be sent to you. What the chances of that? It's not even 1 in 1,000. And when I say if they're sent to you, you best be someone big on their list. Not in your brain, in their brain. Okay? When you have a helicopter that actually, and when I'm saying this, I need to put this in there real quick. That 1 in 1,000 I'm talking about, that's when a helicopter gets near and starts hanging around you. Excuse me, I've had them drop right down into my neighbor's yard. They were, 35 foot away? Staring at me. You know, the thing was tilted. It's like in a Apache type chopper, but it was, it had all this weird high-tech stuff in it. It had this box-like thing in there on the inside of it that the guys were looking at, and some weird screen, and it's reading thermoptics or something. All these different colors, and they looked at me, and they just, it was, it was getting ready to get to dusk. It wasn't there yet, though. And they just stood there like that for, I don't know, looking right at me in my neighbor's backyard. Same thing happened to Ann out in Texas. They came to look at us for energy output. It's like, holy crap. Sometimes they use thermoptics on some of the helicopters that fly around looking for folks that are growing weed and stuff and addicts and stuff like that. Sometimes trying to find someone. This group did not come there just to see me. But when they saw my heat signature, they immediately came to me to see what the hell's going on. There was a young kid driving it and the older man next to him. And the younger kid was like, holy shit. He's holding the thing still, the copter, still. Because there's some trees, the tree line around here, he came down in it. Excuse me. And he was holding it still, looking at it. And he was saying, look at this. And then the tech instructor, the guy who was his boss, he was in there. And he's staring at it like his brain was the one that was really fired up. The younger guy thought it was neat. The older one says, what the hell is this? And so then I just looked at him, had Oki then, one of my dogs with me. I just looked at him. And I stared at him, I looked at him, I don't know, probably 10 seconds, 15 seconds. And then that was after they finally stopped and were pointed right at me. I looked at them. I just went like this. I went, screw you. Turned around and walked in the house with Oki. And then they stood there for a little bit and they took off. Fear will do nothing for you. Period. If you're an adrenaline junkie, what's that? A momentary rush or something? I don't know. Sorry, that ain't my gig. I used to enjoy sports. I've done a lot of crazy things. But fear is counterproductive to your awakening in a big way. What's been causing a ton of fear in your life is gone. Right now, there's a ton of chaos out there, which can cause fear on its own just by happenstance of what's going on around you. So, do what you want, but you want to wake up. Let that stuff go, man. Calm your body down. Just sit down, calm your body down, some nice full breaths. Imagine your freak out frequencies, whatever you want to call them, anxiety inside you. Breathe in deep, get the breath behind the frequencies and release them. You do it, if you take your time and relax and do it once, you'll be fine. If you need to, do it 3 or 4 times, but don't think someone's coming to get you. All that stuff, the angels hanging on you, all that stuff is gone. It's gone now. There's problems here. The government does stuff from time to time that's bad. I've actually talked about it, like Max Spears. He was attacked, he was killed, he was assassinated. Came up to, I love Stephen Greer, his heart energy is really great. There's a lot of beautiful light green coming out of his heart too. But he talks about, he had mentioned in one of his videos about he didn't think, he never knew if Marilyn Monroe was assassinated or whatever, and then he saw the paperwork. Excuse me, there was issues with Marilyn and the government. JFK, he was source. One of the kids, Marilyn Monroe, her energy inside was the primary focal point of Lily, solar plexus. And she was not assassinated. Things were being put together to take care of her. She was a loose end hanging around. That was a problem because she could easily get people involved. And JFK, he was definitely into, hey, let's get this something going here where we can let people know that we have folks from other planets coming here. And if Marilyn got a hold of that, it would come right up, she got a hold of that and everything, it would go right out, it'd be all over the public. So, was there something instigated towards her? Yes. What actually happened? She got tired of it. She was attacked all the time by the original female. Original first being female and male. She was the one that was going to take over for the original first being female. You don't think she had problems? Oh, hell yeah. You've never seen jealousy like what people like that of what people called God. Original first being, male and female. Excuse me. They were jealous of each other and everything. Anyway, they're dead. But so much for that. She just got tired of it and just took the pills, and her doctor got her what she needed to try to calm her down. He was within his legal right, but she just said, frack it, I've had enough. I understand why. I understand what she went through. Understanding is a very powerful thing. Hence all this information I'm giving you. The more you understand, the more you know, and the less reason there is for any kind of a fear. In Elizabethan times, if a airplane flew overhead, they'd probably be afraid it's a demon that's going to come attack them. When it was just a plane going somewhere, taking people somewhere, totally innocent of anything, and they'd probably be afraid of it. Understanding is power. Okay. When you have a fear, look at it. Try to understand why you have it. Excuse me. And then try to understand. Just look at it and say, okay, if this happens, what do I do? And then let it go. You can't control everything. You have all these manifestation people. I will manifest this. I can manifest this. And you never get it. It's like, folks, go get a board and beat yourself in the head until you get so tired you can't do it anymore. And by then, you'll have a huge lump. In the morning, you look yourself in the mirror, and then you can actually see what's going on. When you play this manifestation game, I've seen people take a penny and put it in a planter and then say, I'm going to make my money grow. It's in there with a plant. The plant will grow, so will my money. Excuse me. And then they tell themselves, I made money. Well, yeah, you make money every day. Hello. It's like, it's funny, the original first being male and female, and they would use their angels and spirit guides. You, when you're out of body, would also be a part of this. Would make little things happen, make them find $20 or a quarter, something. And then go right in their heads and say, see, you can manifest, you have the power. There's a few people that could telekinetically move stuff around. It was their angels. And then all of a sudden the angel takes that away, and then they can't move stuff. It's like, what happened? I'm broke. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? What does that do? Creates frustration inside the person. That's funny. Had some cats outside getting ready to get into it. That's the old man. Anyway, hold on just a second. Let me help him out. Okay, until it starts again. I've got feeders outside. I'm keeping full fresh filtered water, filtered water for all the animals, birds, everything. Housing for them. Anyway, let's go into these original first beings. The first dimension is where they just come from. Energy fields just come in and out of each other, and then the energy fields start staying closer together. Then there's a reaction. The more heavy particulate matter there is in it, it becomes a physical chemical reaction in there. Most of the heavy particulate matter has already been taken out of the first dimension because it slows. Heavy particulate matter is heavy, it's dense. And when it becomes part of an energetic different energies reacting to each other, coming together, and it gets involved, it gets pulled in there, it'll slow down the frequencies, making it more what we normally call negative, but it's actually causing a major drop in a lot of the frequencies. There will be more lower frequencies inside the energy. So, and that causes more issues with that first type being. This being that's being created, the sentient energy is what it is. That's a being. So most of the, well, somewhere around half of the heavy particulate matter has been pulled out of the first dimension. There's just barely over half of it left. That's going to keep the new first beings from being as aggressive and all as the original first being was, the one we came from. Is a helicopter. Should I run and get under the table? And I listened to it. It's not it's not military. It's a regular helicopter. It's business news. Helicopter. I can tell by listening to the engine. That's understanding from knowledge of just. I was a mechanic for well over 30 years, and I know what the military ones sound like. Been in them. Anyway, so without the heavy particulate matter in a, they're going to have higher frequencies, and the beings that will be released from it when it gets to that point will be of higher vibration, higher frequencies, so there'll be less problems. There's 4 new beings in there right now. They're growing. They're maturing. They're in the process of becoming sentient. They're not there yet. The next one to come out was about 87% negative. No, it's not. Now it's in the high 30s. And I should say percent lower frequencies, not negative. The more lower the frequencies, the more negative the attitude is towards the being, and that's where that came from. But the actual frequencies are, are imperative to what's going to be released and the kind of problems that creation's going to have. I know this for a fact from having been involved in this all my life. I'm not myself right now. I'm stuck in a body. I can't access who I am, all of what I am, just the way y'all can't. I have to fight to get what I need out of the field when it's relative to something that's about the other side, like living on the other side. It's hard to understand. Excuse me. Trying to understand what it's like when you're living at a body, that's hard. The human mind has no imagery. It has no way. It has no highway to get there, okay? How do you fathom not being in a body? You can only go so far with it. You're floating, you're relaxed, but what about the rest of it? Well, there's no way to imagine that. You have nothing to compare to, okay? So even though you can access information, you can't do anything with it. So you really can't get the information. Yeah, it's frustrating, but whatever. We'll all be there before long. No big deal. Do the best we can with what we have and try to keep learning. Anyway, so these new first beings, this next one is, he was cleaned a lot. For something to be forming and then have that taken away from him is a residual effect. That'll be part of it. So the frequencies that it becomes when it's done, the more heart it has in it, the better the outcome will be. But that's one reason why creation can't be just collapsed. If creation was just collapsed, everyone get a good firm talking to about what's going to happen and then build a new one and be fine. But it doesn't work like that. You can't do that. I mean, you can, but all the new first beings, when they come out, they're going to want to explore. They're going to grow. They're going to evolve. They're going to want to know. They're going to get to the point where they're going to want to have lives. You know, break off parts, get that information. They're going to see how creation had grown by having lives. Their own spirit had grown. That they need to understand that these physical bodies are the wrong way. That energetic bodies are the way to do it. And so some of them are going to want to go some way, and it's going to be pointed out to them that, no, that's the wrong way, and this is what happens, and this is what you go through to fix it. And if they insist on it, they're going to be stopped. One way or the other. Creation is growing in so many ways. Remember, all of you are spirit, sentient energy. You're all very old as far as like years can go. You can't measure your life in years, you know. Well, I'm over 1 trillion lives old, so how many years is that? It's kind of nuts. Anyway. These new beings coming out, one of them is really compassionate. The fourth one to start coming together is so very compassionate. They're all a little bit different. Creation's going to grow. They'll start wanting to grow by doing something, having lives. They're going to see, watch this, watch that. But the thing, the advantage that they have, and it kind of really helps me, when they come out, they're not going to be alone. When they come out of the first dimension, they're going to get a greeting. Hey, yo, what's happening? Sit down, let's go get a beer. You know, a big welcome. They will have friendship right away. The original first being never had that opportunity. It's sad what happened with them, but it's sadder what they did. And they wouldn't change when they were shown the damage they were inflicting. They said, good, we're going to do more. That's why all this happened. That's why creation's the way it is. That's why we all have physical bodies instead of energy bodies, where we can make something physical but then have to release it after a little while, and then we're just energy floating around. No pain, no suffering, no eating, no sleeping. It's just pure energy. Folks, it's a rush. You feel stuff so much more. These bodies are like being in a piece of tar that's, you know, walking on the ground. You think you can feel stuff now? Wait till you're free of that body. And please don't use that as an excuse to go hurting yourself. Don't do that. Finish your life. Try to expand your understanding of who you are. And hopefully you have it in your heart to try to help some others. You should never expect everyone to sit down together at a table, hold hands and sing Kumbaya. But it is important for all of us to be able to wake up enough to see who we are as individuals and who we are as a family. That's important. Those of us in physical bodies on the third dimension here are going to be able to see the second dimension better and better and better. If we're not aware of each other, we're missing out on something. When you isolate others from each other, it's easier to control them. That's why it was done. If you knew, if even in a physical body, if you knew that you were just in a vehicle having a quick life, and that you belonged on the other side because you could see it, you see everyone else's energy, well, yeah, you'd probably want to get out of your body quicker, but so what? Maybe you should. Maybe you should have a shorter life, that life. It's going to be easier for you all to get out of your body later, in lives coming. And then when you're energy, it's very easy. So, the Fae bodies are energy. That's why the Fae, maybe about 2080, 2084, whatever. That's what it looks like right now, and it's going to change. How much, which up or down, who knows, whatever. And it's going to be what it needs to be. That's why it's important for people to try to leave the future alone. Trying to, guessing the future. You can create a better future for yourself and everyone by becoming who you really are today and then moving forward in a positive direction. The more people do that decide to, out of the free will you have now, which you've never had as much as what you have now. That's what brings positive change. So, creation's going to grow. There's nothing alive right now that's going to see one of these new beings. But they are coming. There will be more and more people that can see it. It's not going to happen in the next 100 years. Well, there's still an importance for you to understand that, though, that they're there, that they're real, that they exist. Folks, love you, man. Take care. It helps you in so many ways just to take a few minutes a day and just relax. Just be yourself a while, because that's a good thing. And the more you are, the more you'll understand about yourself. Love you all, man. Have a good one.